Today we're driving the 2026 Mazda CX-30 2.5S Air Edition. You can tell this is the Air Edition because it has some different interior accents, some contrast gray stitching, gray suede, and these very neat looking cloth seats. Pricing as tested is a little over $32,000 with some cargo mats and Mazda's navigation system. Let's start it up. We'll walk you guys around it and talk about what this has been like to live with this week. Get ready for the infamous Mazda seatbelt chime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can avoid that by just putting your seatbelt on before you start up the vehicle, but it is maybe the only annoying thing about this Mazda CX-30. As some of you may remember, we owned a 2021 Mazda CX-30 back in the day. It was front-wheel drive, which I always thought was kind of the sweet spot for these. This is technically a crossover, but it handles, drives, and almost kind of looks like a lifted hatchback. It is a great car to drive and live with. It's a little bit tight in the back seat, but unless if you have kids in car seats, I think you'll be just fine with it. It's pretty good gas mileage, rated for 24 in the city, 32 on the highway. All Mazda CX-30s these days are all-wheel drive. You can't get the front-wheel drive model anymore. It's pretty fuel efficient, rated for 31 miles to the gallon on the highway, 24 in the city. All Mazda CX-30s these days are all-wheel drive. You can't get the front-wheel drive model anymore. We get a 6-speed automatic transmission. It makes 186 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque from a 2.5-liter four-cylinder. This CX-30 is painted in deep crystal blue mica, which honestly I think is one of Mazda's best colors. It's so nice they give these cars interesting colors. The Air Edition comes with blacked out badges, black wheels, black roof rails, and the black badges in the back are kind of black chrome. They look pretty nice. We don't get a power tailgate. I'm so used to power tailgates in cars these days that I just kind of expect them to be there. Looks like our floor mat got moved to the back here. We have a compact spare tire, a jack, etc. This is an optional cargo cover. Very nice to protect your things in the back from prying eyes. Mazda CX-30's always kind of been a funky looking little thing, but it's just such an enjoyable car to live with and to drive. We still kind of miss ours. Driving this one this week has been a bit of a trip down memory lane. Let's hop on the back seat and show you what interior room looks like. The front seat is set to my driving position at 5'10". It's just a little bit cramped, a little bit tight. There is a nice bump out in the seat back for your knees, but you can see why this maybe wouldn't work very well as a family car. Still, you get very nice ISOFIX points, a couple of vents back here, and just a beautifully laid out and appointed interior. For around $30,000, it doesn't really get much nicer than this. This Mazda CX-30 has always reminded me a little bit of my Volkswagen GTI. I had a 2010 Mark 6 GTI that punched above its weight in terms of comfort, luxury, performance back in its day, and I feel like this CX-30 does too for about the same money. I think it's just one of the best compact SUVs on sale today. If you can get around the packaging constraints in the back seat, there's still a decent amount of room in the trunk and the cargo area. Let's take a look at this inline four-cylinder. We have a 12.7 gallon fuel tank, so you should be able to get about 300 miles of range out of this. The turbocharged four-cylinder gets a lot less range, so you probably expect maybe 250, 230 per tank because it isn't as fuel efficient, though it is faster. Nice engine, a little bit louder on cold start, but it seems to quiet down once you get it warmed up. It's smooth. The 6-speed auto isn't the smoothest 6-speed in Mazda's lineup, but it still does a pretty nice job, and it is fun to chuck around. We'll be doing some of that in this video. I suppose the black wheels look pretty good too. They're kind of dirty after this week. We have a set of 215/55 R18 Bridgestone Turanza tires. This takes regular fuel, so it's going to be cheap to fill up. And I really like the interior appointments on this Aire edition. Same old Mazda reverse camera. We've got parking sensors over to the right there. And, oh boy, we just drove the new Mazda CX-5, and they've done away with all the beautiful physical controls that we see in this CX-30's interior. Physical climate controls for everything, heated seats, no heated steering wheel here, but you almost don't need it because you have these two vents that aim right at your hands and on the wheel. And I was getting heat out of this system in the first 2-3 minutes of driving, which is very nice on cold winter days like today, about 36 degrees Fahrenheit today. This functions as a touch screen, I believe at lower speeds, but once you get used to this Mazda system, you can really use it very quickly with quick access controls from your navigation to your music to various other things. You can hold the home button and it'll take you back to the main screen, or press down and it'll take you back to CarPlay. It works great, and you can do most of it with muscle memory. You don't need to be looking down to see what you're doing, looking off to the side at the screen. It's a non-distracting, very functional system. And the only thing that's a little bit clunky is CarPlay usage with the scroll wheel, just because I think CarPlay was best designed as a touchscreen. In that case, the screen is a little bit far away. So I could see Mazda kind of doing some middle ground here, but it is nice to have all this redundancy with physical climate controls and some controls down here. We get a couple drive modes, just normal and sport. You can turn off traction control. I don't even know if you can turn off traction control anymore. No, there's just this off-road button over here. Physical dimmer switch, love to see that. And we get 2 seat memory settings over there to the far left. Auto up-down windows on all 4 corners, always a nice feature to see in cars at this price point. Great big honking glove box. I love the vent design, the placement of everything. Nice little sunroof too. Place to put your sunglasses. And then these visors don't slide, but you do get a little piece that slides out that way. All right, let's take the CX-30 for a drive and see what it can do on the road. No paddle shifters here, but we do get a manual mode, and it's the correct direction. Forward to downshift, back to upshift, just like a rally car. If there's one thing that Mazda really knows how to do well, it's driving dynamics, and they really nailed it in the CX-30 as a compact crossover. The only aspect of this car that does feel a little bit weak has always been the braking system. The brakes just don't really have a lot of bite for around town driving, though you do get used to it. Feel and modulation, however, are excellent. Really nice hard pedal, easy to modulate, just not a ton of bite, though you could probably improve that with a slightly different pad compound. Stinky diesel truck. Turn on my air recirculation quickly. No problem. Let's go into sport mode here. Our G vectoring control will start to do its thing on turn in around a corner. Get that front end turned in slightly. We have a electronically controlled torque vectoring limited slip differential, kind of. It works a little bit of its Mazda magic. Steering is wonderful in the CX-30. Good amount of information at the limit, and light when you need to just kind of chuck this thing around town the rest of the time. For what this is, power is decent too. Cruise control stays engaged until you turn off the system, so even and when you restart the vehicle, it'll still stay engaged. You can just set your speed and carry on. You can quickly skip 5-mile-an-hour increments by holding this set plus and minus button, or change your following distance quickly right down here. It's a simple, easy-to-use system, and it works well. It's a little bit of tire noise going over bumps on the highway, but for the most part, there isn't a ton of wind noise. It's a relatively quiet cabin for the class. Gear spacing in this 6-speed auto feels about right too. It doesn't need to downshift all the time on the highway into 5th to make passes. And in sport mode at least, it shifts pretty quickly. Look at this wrap on this Cherokee, that's interesting. Alright, so now we're in sport mode, giving us a little bit more aggressive downshifts. One of the few crossovers that lets you have some fun, doesn't hold you back with an overly intrusive traction and stability control system. The gearbox is excellent. It also seems to rev a lot higher than some other Mazdas with the same powertrain. Over 6,000 RPM red line. Let's test out the brakes. Just not a ton of bite. What about a launch? A little bit of slow car fast stuff going on there. That's okay. Congested intersection. We'll take it easy. In sport mode, it's pretty eager to downshift. Again, if you're craving more power, go get yourself a turbo. You'll love it. Really, the only sacrifice is fuel economy and fuel range. Will it hold gears? If you push down through the kickdown switch in manual mode, it'll auto upshift, which is very nice to see. What about if you don't push through the kickdown switch? It'll bounce off the rev limiter. Very nice. Just as it should be. Ride quality is on the firmer side, but it's not punishing. It still filters out small bumps really well, around town at lower speeds. Mazda definitely lets you know that this has sporting intentions, but the ride quality is never too firm, too stiff, or uncomfortable. Love how quickly the steering returns to center too. Watch this. Look at that. The all-wheel drive system does a nice job sending power to that rear axle too, minimizing front wheel spin. There's still a little bit of front wheel spin off the line in low traction environments, but overall it's a pretty nice all-wheel drive system. The biggest complaint is that you just can't turn everything off and slide this thing around. I've got to hand it to Mazda. They kind of nailed this interior with regards to ergonomics. I'm afraid to see what they'll do with the next generation CX-30. I hope they don't get rid of all the physical controls. The new CX-5, ultimately, it's fine to use, but It's distracting and I think a little bit more dangerous to operate because you have to do everything in the screen. And they really got a very nice balance of tech and physical controls with some redundancy in the CX-30. And I hope they realize the error of their ways when they refresh this interior. A little bit of safe understeer, not the grippiest tire here on the CX-30. And this engine does like to rev. Most of its power is at the top of that RPM range. It's a bit odd that this doesn't have paddle shifters. I feel like it could use a set. All right, we'll put it into sport one more time. I think if you put a stickier set of tires on here, you'd have a pretty good time as a canyon carver, or a rallycross car, or an autocross car. Miata. Alright guys, those are going to sum up my thoughts on the Mazda CX-30. An excellent car to drive. Maybe not so excellent for kids or family use, but for everything else and everyone else, it's a really, really nice crossover, and it feels so high quality for the price point. The build quality, the materials, the touch, the fit, the finish, the usability, the UI in here is all just top stuff from Mazda. Can't recommend one of these enough if the packaging works for you. Only other complaint I would have about this Mazda CX-30 is you do sit very low in this cabin and the interior kind of comes up around you, so visibility isn't the best, but still, it's not that bad. It's not like the Supra or the Camaro or something like that. You still can get very comfortable with your sight lines or blind spots. I don't feel like this design is hindering my ability to see what's around me or give me less confidence in traffic, etc. So even that doesn't really bother me too much. You do to get used to it after a day or two behind the wheel. I think we'll wrap up with a sound system test, and those will be my thoughts on the 2026 Mazda CX-30 Air Edition. Find our track here. Very nice. Volume control down here, track selection. New Mazda CX-5 even got rid of a volume knob. Shame, Mazda. Shame, shame. This base audio system is fine, but honestly, it doesn't really hold a candle to the power and clarity of the Bose. That's definitely a worthy upgrade I would get if you're into listening to music in your car and you're a bit of an audiophile. Still, this isn't bad. It's just not great. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video.